Hi, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Our devotion for today, June 17th, 2022, is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 9 through 14. He went on from there and entered their synagogue, and a man was there with a withered hand. And they asked him, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" so that they might accuse him. And he said to them, "Which of you who has a sheep, if it falls into the pit on the Sabbath, will not take hold of it and lift it out? Of how much more value is a man than a sheep? So it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." And then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And the man stretched it out, and it was restored healthy like the other. But the Pharisees went out and conspired against him, how to destroy him. Imagine a world in which doing something good and miraculous makes you a target to be killed. Does it sound too unbelievable or too incredible to be true? And yet this is exactly what has happened to Jesus. Our devotion text is the Gospel of Matthew, and we are present to an exchange between Jesus and the Pharisees. He's in a holy place. That's where we usually find him, right? In the synagogue. And he sees a man who is there with a withered hand. Now, this is the Sabbath, of course, and a holy day. And Jesus has gotten into trouble with Pharisees for healing on the Sabbath before. The Pharisees want to catch Jesus in the act of violating the Sabbath day of rest and healing by healing someone once again. They, of course, know that the man with the withered hand is in the synagogue, and they bait Jesus with the question, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" They're hoping that he will say that it is, and then use his power to do that, and then they will use that against Jesus. Rather than answering, Jesus asked the Pharisees a question: which one of you who has a sheep, if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will not take hold of it and lift it out? The scriptures do not record a reply to this question from the Pharisees. What we do know from extraneous other sources is that this was a common practice among the farmers for any of the farm animals who fell into a pit on the Sabbath. They would reach in and pull them out. When they don't reply, Jesus asks them, "Is not a man's life worth more than that of an animal?" Or more specifically, for his example, more than a sheep. There is still no answer from the Pharisees. Jesus makes his pronouncement based upon his example, which everyone in the synagogue knew was common practice, by saying, "So it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Having established an argument that it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath, what greater good could there be at that moment than healing the man in the synagogue with the withered hand? Remember, the Pharisees have been silent with regards to answering the questions Jesus asked. So Jesus turns to the man with the withered hand and tells him to stretch out your hand. The man does so. And in the process of doing that, the hand is healed. Well, one could argue that Jesus did nothing except tell the man to stretch out his hand. And it was healed, therefore, then not by Jesus, but by God, since they were in the temple, or synagogue, excuse me. But of course, all who were there knew that it was Jesus who healed the man's hand, even though Jesus didn't say a word, or any special words, or any special incantations, or he didn't even reach over and touch it. Wasn't this Jesus doing good? Isn't it a good thing that someone who was crippled is now made whole? How crazy does the world have to be for this good thing to be called bad, and then warrant religious people to leave their holy place to plot the death of the one who did good? Look at the world today. There are plenty of examples of crazy things going on, don't you think? where good is now called bad and bad is now called good, where evil is spoken about people who have done no evil, and those who speak evil are affirmed? Would it be so hard to imagine that in the world today, one could be marked for death simply by doing what is really good? Still, we must do what is good, just as Jesus continued to do what is good in light of the fact that there were those who were trying to kill him. We must continue to do good, even if it means we place ourselves in harm's way. Jesus has us in any case, and he will preserve us. Go in peace, serve the Lord.